May I invite now the President to share his thoughts with us.
Your Majesty, Your Royal Highness, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to address this gathering of business leaders and the academicians coming from India and also some of the representatives of both industry and academy representing Sweden are present in this gathering. Our relationship with Sweden, many people pointed out, goes back to the days of history, and Ericsson Company of Sweden became almost a household name when they introduced the single switch system to India. Many other Swedish companies, they opened their business, they provided job to the Indian youths, and they also encouraged Indian engineers, technicians to come to Sweden and refine their knowledge and also to go back with experiences of the industrial development in this country. At the very beginning, I would like to compliment the organizers of this seminar because I do feel that time has come when India and Sweden must reinvent its relationship and give a new dimension to the growing economic, trade, educational, and cultural cooperation to fulfill the aspirations of the people of India and of Sweden. Our diplomatic relationship was established as early as 1949. Our first Prime Minister of India visited Sweden, and Swedish Prime Minister also visited India in the early 60s of the last century. In the contemporary period, we had the privilege of receiving His Majesty, the King and Queen in India twice. Once in 1993 as the state visit, and again in 2005 when His Majesty led a technical mission. Though this is my first visit and also the first visit of any Indian head of state, in the diplomatic language, state visit to Sweden by any Indian president. But since my arrival, I do not feel that I have come from outside. The warm hospitality with which myself and the distinguished members of my delegation have been received, treated. We sincerely appreciate your hospitality, your majesty, and other members of the Swedish community. I had the privilege of having very long-ranging discussions covering many aspects of our bilateral relations, reviewing the regional and major international developments with Honorable Speaker, Honorable Prime Minister, and also with His Majesty. I had the privilege of having interaction with the representatives and leaders of trade and industry, and I particularly enjoyed the real appreciation of some of the industrial leaders of Sweden who are working in India, correctly identifying India's strength and India's weakness. We are asking people to make investment in India. The natural question is why? It's a fact that the countries having investable resources are limited in number. Countries seeking investment are many more. Then why invest in India? Why not in other places? My answer to that you will have some advantages. Prospective investors must expect a profit. There must be conditions for earning profit by making investment. India has that. Three great advantages India has. One, India has a demand, huge market, not only a population of 1.25 billion people, but 300 million persons who belong to the middle class and who have reasonably high per capita income and consumer appetite. Whatever is produced is of quality, Indian consumers will buy. So there will be no dearth of demand. The second strength, India has large number of technically competent personnels, and even the largest number of working force. If somebody looks at the demographic changes taking place all over the world, in one way, world is aging. Average age of Europe, North America, and even China are increasing compared to India. Right now, 50% of Indian population are below the age of 25. By 2022, it is expected 2/3 of our total population would be in the working age group of 15 to 59. We have also undertaken an ambitious scheme of training 500 million people to improve their skill. There will be no lack of skilled workforce at different level, from top-class engineers to average working men and women having reasonably developmental skill. Therefore, the second advantage is demographic advantage, availability of the skilled workforce. Third is the investment and business-friendly atmosphere. Series of momentous changes have taken place, and those are friendly to investors and doing business with India. For instance, very recently, the ceiling of FDI investment has increased substantially. Railway section has been opened for 100% FDI. Insurance 49%. Defense production 49%. These are the areas where we can provide good opportunities for investment and earning good profit. Fourthly, another advantage is the democratic structure and rule of law, independent judiciary, which has been well acclaimed. 125 billion people are aspiring to take their rightful place in the Committee of Nations. They have shaken off their old baggage and legacy. They want to move forward. And they want to share the prosperity of the world, particularly the tremendous development changes which the world has witnessed since the second half of the last century, when there were no devastating world wars. This peace dividend has created an aspiration in the mind of the younger generations who want to move ahead and take advantage of this technological revolution in various fields. Therefore, the solutions which are to be found out in adverse situations like shortage of materials, raw materials, how technological solution can be provided to address the issues. Mobile telephone is a classical example in case of India. Examples can be multiplied. But in short, I can point out that an atmosphere has been created which is business-friendly, investment-friendly, and it would be appropriate and it is expected from our friends in Sweden to take advantage of it and also to take the challenges. I am told 170 Swedish companies are working currently in Sweden. 50 Indian companies are working here. My business delegation, when I look at their face, they are young men and women of aspirations, ambitions, and they do not carry any baggage of past. They are the citizens of modern world. Any geographical barrier or artificial barrier does not prevent them to pursue their objectives for better life, better understanding, better knowledge, and better access to the technology. Government is also reforming its policies. When I had interactions with the Swedish companies' leaders and representatives, one question, of course, raised that various obstacles sometimes come, not only in bilateral relations, but in multilateral relations. We know there are problems in multilateral relations about the resolution and taking the final conclusions to the Doha round of talk, for which the future of the World Trade Organizations and multilateral trading arrangement depends. We are not lacking behind. We want to address the issues in proper and correct perspectives. We are fully aware of the problems which will be debated and discussed in the United Nations National Convention for Environment Protection, because that is a question which is posing seriously and challenging the very existence of humanity unless it is addressed in its proper perspective. We are not avoiding any issue or evading any issue. What we want to understand with the international community together, that these issues are to be resolved, are to be sorted out in mutual understanding and cooperation with each other, not by imposing any artificial solutions or just biased decision making. Because really a new world has come. Concerns of this new world, 54 countries of Africa, large number of countries of Latin America, Asia and others, they want to have their voice to be heard in the international fora, in the world fora, whether it is WTO, whether it is architecture of the international monetary, money and finance, and the governance circuit structure. So they are to be listened to carefully, and the issues are to be addressed. We have established the major financial crisis of 2008-9, Eurozone crisis. Substantially, it has been addressed by the collective wisdom of the world leaders assembled in the G20 and various other appropriate fora. Therefore, I would like to, while speaking to this distinguished gathering in presence of His Majesty, Excellencies, His Royal Highness, that our old friends from Sweden, let them take full advantage of awakening emerging India, the Indian economy, which is going to be $8 trillion at the end of this year, whose international trade is going to reach very shortly $1 billion. Correctly, it is $746 billion. Let us share with our collective wisdom and with our knowledge, where you have your expertise, please lend that to us. Where we have our capacities, we will extend to it through this mutual give and take. Let us move together. And one information I would like to share, my Foreign Secretary told me that he has got the latest information that for the tourists and businessmen, certain countries are provided with the facilities of e-visa on arrival. Sweden is one such country, and any Swedish citizen going either as a tourist or for business purposes would be entitled to have e-visa on arrival. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I wish you all success in your effort.